Why do we call the alphabet characters? Think about it. A is A at 2 a.m. in Africa, and A is A at 2 p.m. in Austin. B does not become D because it is raining. C is still C, whether you whisper it in the hospital or shout in the stadium. Write this down. We call them characters because they never change. Numbers 2:1 is 1 everywhere. 2 never wakes up and decides to be 3. You can count in Spanish, Mandarin, or Swahili, and the value is constant. Statues don't move. They stand through storms, through seasons, through scandals. They are the same in winter and in summer. Why? Because character is what never changes. That's why we call them characters. Now hear me. Your life is your alphabet. Your name is your number. Can we read you anywhere and get the same value? Tweet this to somebody right now. Be so consistent they can't afford to fire your character. Employers do not risk the unpredictable. Boards do not promote volatility. Managers are allergic to mystery. They are not paying you first for your talent. They are paying you to reduce their risk. Risk goes down when a person is the same on Monday and on Friday, in the office and online, in private and in public. Write it down. Consistency is currency. Trust is interest. Integrity is the bank. Scripture agrees. For I am the Lord, I change not. Malachi 3-6. James says, in him there is no variation or shadow of turning. James 1:17. The God who made you is one. The Shema declares, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Deuteronomy 6-4. Holiness means oneness, integration, integrity. When you are one, you are like your source. You become reliable. You become employable, you become promotable, you become, in effect, unfireable, because wise leaders do not dismiss their only predictables. Let me pastor you and coach you at the same time. Your gift may get you in the room, but your character keeps you in the room. Your resume opens the door. Your reliability pays the rent. Proverbs says a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Proverbs 22:1. Why? Because a good name is a contract. It is your personal ABC. When your boss spells your name, they should hear the same letter every time. A is A. You send, you deliver A. You show up A. You tell the truth A. That's employable. That's promotable. That's unfireable. Listen, everybody can perform for a moment. Charisma is a burst. Character is a battery. Performance impresses. Consistency convinces. Write this down. People don't invest in events. They invest in patterns. Are you a pattern? Or are you an exception hunting for excuses? Who are you at 2 a.m. when nobody is watching? Who are you at 2 p.m. when everybody is watching? There is no such thing as a private life. Lead with your life. Let me make it practical for the marketplace. The finance department needs to close the books. They can't close on vibes. They close on numbers that don't argue. HR needs policies honored, not negotiated at convenience. Clients expect delivery dates that don't move like clouds. When you become a human statute, a steady standard, you lower anxiety, you raise forecasting accuracy, and you make your leader look wise. You become the person they would rather lose money than lose you, because losing you raises their risk profile overnight. So here is our question for this journey. What disciplines turn integrity into undeniable value at work? Not theory, not talk, not slogans on the wall. What habits, what vows, what personal laws will forge your ABC into a life you can sign your name to anywhere, anytime, with anyone? Write it down. Character is self-imposed discipline. We are going to build you into a person your future can trust. But first, settle this in your spirit. Principles don't change. Characters don't change. And you will not change when pressure speaks, when prophets whisper, or when pressure calls. Be so consistent they cannot afford to fire your character. Now let's begin. Now hear me with both ears. Principles are laws. You can ignore them, you can deny them, you can debate them on podcasts, but you can never disagree with them. Write it down. You don't break a principle, you confirm it. You don't violate a law, you verify it by the consequences. If you jump off a 10-story building, you don't break the law of gravity, you break your neck. Tweet that to somebody who thinks charisma can negotiate with consequences. Paul says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. Galatians 6-7. That is not a suggestion. That is a structure. That is how reality is wired. So let me bring this home to the workplace. Companies are not moved by moods. They are moved by laws, trust, time, and truth. These are not slogans on the lobby wall. They are the oxygen of operations. Time is a law. Miss it, and the cost compounds automatically. Penalties, missed windows, supply chain breakdowns. Truth is a law. Corrupted, and the detectives will catch up audits, lost clients, lawsuits. Trust is a law. Fracture it once, and the market prices you like a junk bond. Proverbs puts it this way: he who walks in integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. Proverbs 10-9. Secure, known, those are laws. The first produces career security. The second produces headlines you don't want. Write this in your spirit. Career security is not favoritism, it's alignment. Alignment with laws that do not change for your talent, your title, or your tears. Joshua did not negotiate with the sun. He appealed to the one who set the laws. Joshua 10. Seed time and harvest are fixed. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. In business language, inputs and outputs are anchored. Sow late, reap late. Sow lies, reap lawsuits. Sow truth, reap trust. That's employability math. Now, let me confront you lovingly. Some of you are standing on the edge of a building called dishonesty, and you think a little jump won't hurt because your performance is strong this quarter. Don't jump. Gravity doesn't read your resume. A fabricated number is a step into thin air. A hidden conflict of interest is a wind gust you didn't see coming. An undisclosed relationship is an elevator shaft. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Proverbs 12:22. Honesty is not the best policy. Write it down. Honesty is my only policy. Say it out loud where you are. Only policy. Because only alignment with truth keeps you from falling when the pressure rises. Let me make it painfully practical. Your calendar is a covenant with time. If you promise a deliverable on Friday at 3 p.m., that is a vow to the law of time. Break it and you trigger automatic distrust. Your ledger is a covenant with truth. If the numbers must be massaged to make you look good, you have already stepped off the ledge. Your NDA is a covenant with trust. If you leak gossip or proprietary data to impress a prospect, you have invited gravity to teach you theology. Numbers 23:19 says, God is not a man that he should lie. If your source will not adjust truth to protect his image, why should you adjust truth to protect your income? I am setting the expectation for the rest of our journey. Every tactic we will teach, how you email, how you price, how you negotiate, how you take a meeting, how you handle expense reports, will be anchored to an immutable principle. We will not build your career on techniques. We will build it on tectonics, on bedrock. Jesus called it the wise man who built his house on the rock so that when the rain descended and the floods came, it did not fall. Matthew 7:24-25. That rock is principle. Your unfireable future stands on that rock. So declare your constitution today. Write it and sign it. I submit to the law of truth. No lies, not small ones, not right ones, not convenient ones. I submit to the law of time, on time, every time. Or I repent and repair proactively. I submit to the law of trust, confidentiality, fidelity, transparency. This is not religiosity. This is reliability. And reliability is employability. You can never disagree with the principle. Align with it, and the law itself will promote you. So let me give you our working definition, and I want you to engrave it on your conscience like stone. Character is self-imposed discipline. Write it down. Character is integrated oneness. Character is you being the same under pressure as you are in peace, the same when you're observed as when you're alone. Character is not a mood, it is a mandate. It is the voluntary walls you build around your life so that your convictions can live safely. Tweet that to somebody who thinks freedom means no rules. Freedom is the fruit of chosen restraints. Paul understood this. He said, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. 1 Corinthians 9:27. That is self-imposed discipline, not police-imposed. not HR imposed, self-imposed. Character is locking yourself in before life locks you out. It is saying, I arrest me, because if you don't, consequences will. Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Write it down. The only prison that produces freedom is the prison of truth. Character is integrated oneness, no double life, no secret settings. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1:8. Unstable means expensive. Unstable means unpromotable. Holiness means oneness, be one. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. No revisions later. No alternative versions at 2 a.m. There's no such thing as a private life. Lead with your life. Jesus warned, there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, nor hidden that will not be known. Luke 12:2. If you never want to fear exposure, don't manufacture anything that needs to be hidden. Write this in your spirit. Transparency is cheaper than secrecy. Character is sameness under pressure. Pressure reveals construction. Heat exposes integrity. Clay collapses. Steel keeps its shape. When the deadline compresses, do you cut truth to fit time? When the client barks, do you adjust ethics to soothe emotion? Character refuses a discount on principle, even when profit screams sale. Proverbs says, he who swears to his own hurt and does not change dwells in God's holy hill. Psalm 15. That's character, keeping your word when it costs you something. Bring it to the marketplace quickly. Unpredictable people are expensive employees. They increase insurance premiums on trust. They make forecasting impossible. They force leaders to build contingency plans called life without you. Disciplined people are safe investments. Predictable diligence reduces transaction costs. Integrity lowers managerial oversight. Reliability compresses cycles and compounds confidence. You get raises not because your smile is bright, but because your pattern removes risk. Write this down. Managers sleep when character works. I want to give you a picture. There are two kinds of professionals, thermometers and thermostats. Thermometers rise and fall with the room. Thermostats set the room. Character is a thermostat. It sets temperature with conviction and holds it with discipline. Pressure comes, the setting holds. Temptation comes, the setting holds. Opportunity comes, the setting holds. That's why you become effectively unfireable. Your setting is so stable that removing you destabilizes the system. Now, let's bind ourselves to the prison that sets you free. Take out your device or your notebook. Write down 3 self-imposed disciplines that define you at work. Truth, time, and task. 1, truth. I do not lie. I do not shade. I do not spin. My words carry weight equal to fact. Say it. Honesty is my only policy. 2, time. I honor time like a law. I arrive early, deliver early, communicate early. If I will miss, I alert before I fail. Time is a covenant, not a suggestion. 3, task. I finish the assignment to the agreed standard, not my mood's convenience. I do not send half-baked work and call it iterative. I complete, then I communicate completion with proof. Make these vows practical. Put alarms on your calendar for pre-communication. Create checklists for deliverables. Set a daily truth audit. Did I exaggerate? Did I withhold? Did I speak plainly? And that's the only question that guarantees integration. Who am I when no one is looking? If the answer in private is different from the answer in public, stop everything and repair the wall. Proverbs 25-28 warns, whoever has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down without walls. Rule your spirit, build your walls, lock the gate from the inside. Character is a daily prison you build with your convictions, and that prison sets you free at work. Free from micromanagement, free from suspicion, free from anxiety about discovery, free to be trusted with greater responsibility. Write it down and sign it. I arrest me. I am one, I am the same, and the law of trust will promote me. Now let me take you to the blueprint. This is not my idea, this is God's order. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion. Genesis 1:26, write it down. Image before dominion. Character before power. Identity before authority. God never gives rulership before resemblance. He refuses to underwrite influence that is not anchored in integrity. You can never disagree with that principle. You can ignore it. And the fallout will announce your disagreement for you. Power does not corrupt, power exposes. Tweet that. A microphone does not change your voice, it amplifies it. Promotion is a sound system. Whatever is in your heart plays louder on the speakers. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. Luke 6:45. If deceit is abundant, the title will turn it into a policy. If truth is abundant, the title will turn it into a culture. The principle is simple. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the treacherous will destroy them. Proverbs 11:3. Integrity guides, perversity destroys. Not sometimes, always. Bring this to the office. Promotions multiply pressure, bigger budgets, tighter timelines, more eyes, heavier consequences. When you rise, decisions speed up and scrutiny increases. Without character, acceleration becomes collision. Opportunity does not change you. Opportunity schedules your exposure. Write that down. Some people are not fired by HR. They are fired by gravity, the natural consequence of misaligned character under multiplied pressure. Power without character will fire you. Your own decisions will pen your termination letter. Leaders know this. Managers recruit ability. They retain integrity. Tweet that to your team. Leaders hire skill, but they keep character. Skill gets invited to the interview. Character gets a key to the building. Anybody can impress for 90 minutes. Only character can be trusted for 9 years. Boards do not entrust strategy to unstable souls. CFOs aren't kept because they are clever. They are kept because their numbers don't negotiate with convenience. Luke 16:10 is the performance review of heaven and earth. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Faithful in the small calendar blocks, then more calendar. Faithful with a $10,000 client, then $1 million client. Dominion is delegated to faithfulness. Let scripture testify. With 2 men, Samson had dominion in his muscles, but not in his morals. He could lift gates, but he couldn't lift his standards. When Delilah cut what was on his head, we discovered what was not in his heart. He did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Judges 16:20. Power revealed him and power removed him. Joseph, however, guarded image before dominion. In Potiphar's house, offered private pleasure and positional shortcut. He said, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Genesis 39:9. That was image. Then came dominion. See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Genesis 41:41. Character opened what charisma could never keep. So let me pastor you into promotion. Stop asking for a bigger title until you have a bigger truth. Pray this: Lord, do not promote me beyond my character. Write it down. Governance without godliness is a guillotine. It will take your head off in public. Before you demand authority, develop alignment. Audit your secret patterns, because titles give your secrets microphones. Set your thermostat now, because influence only turns up the heat. Here is our marketplace maxim: be so consistent they can't afford to fire your character. When your image is solid, your dominion is safe. When your oneness is non-negotiable, your opportunity becomes non-destructive. Seek dominion only after image. Lock in the person you are, and power will merely announce it. And when power announces integrity, trust will compound, doors will open, and the very system will work to keep you, because to remove you would be to remove the rock that steadies the house. Now we shift from passion to plumbing, how to build the pipes that carry trust. Write this down. Philosophy, values, morals, ethics, character, lifestyle. That's the cascade. What is philosophy? It is your belief about reality, what is true about God, people, work, time. Your philosophy produces your values. What you decide is important. Your values produce your morals, your internal right and wrong. Your morals inform your ethics, the standards you will apply to yourself in public. Your ethics, practice consistently, harden into character, unchanging oneness. And character becomes your lifestyle, your visible, predictable pattern. Vision without values is destiny without discipline. Tweet that. Lasting character is engineered. It is not a mood. It is a mechanism. If you don't design it, pressure will design you. So we install values that harden into ethics and produce a trustworthy lifestyle. Paul said, let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Order is ethics in motion. The psalmist prayed, direct my steps by your word, Psalm 119 to 133. Steps, systems, structure. Don't just admire character, architect it. Here are workplace vows flowing from that cascade. Say them out loud and write them down. I tell the truth fast. Delay is deceit's ally. I deliver when I say, time is a law. I will not negotiate with it. I document decisions. Memory is a myth. Records protect relationships. I protect confidences. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. Proverbs 11:13. I am not a pipeline for private information. I am a vault. Honesty is my only policy. Only policy. Time integrity. Your calendar is moral, not just logistical. Be where you said, when you said, prepared. Ecclesiastes warns, when you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it. Better not to vow than to vow and not pay. Ecclesiastes 5:4-5. Every calendar block is a vow to time. So build ethical scaffolding around it. Accept fewer meetings than ego wants and more preparation than comfort prefers. Arrive early enough to relieve someone's anxiety. Send an agenda 24 hours before. Send minutes with decisions and owners within 12 hours after Habakkuk. 2. Write the vision and make it plain. That's not just spiritual, it's operational. If you will miss a deadline, communicate before you fail, not after. Silence is a lie with a quiet voice. Deliverable discipline. Never promise what you cannot deliver. Never deliver less than you promise. Proverbs says a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs 11:1. In modern terms, inflated scopes and deflated outputs are dishonest scales. Under-promise with wisdom, over-deliver with diligence, and if reality shifts, renegotiate in daylight with documentation. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. Not maybe. Not let me circle back as camouflage for procrastination. If you don't know, say you don't know, then go find out. That's integrity's accent. Ethics in motion require routines that make dishonesty inconvenient and excellence inevitable. Build checklists that force second looks before submission. Require 2 sets of eyes on critical numbers. Capture receipts immediately. Reconcile daily so temptation has no open tab. Keep a decision log. Date, decision, who decided, why, what evidence. Create an automatic confidentiality reflex. No names in public spaces. No sensitive files on personal devices. No gossip on company channels. Put a true stop in your email. Read it once for clarity, once for charity, once for confidentiality. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord. Workflows are worship when they protect truth. Let scripture model the outcome. Daniel's enemies could find no charge or fault because he was faithful, nor was there any error or fault found in him. Daniel 6:4. That's lifestyle level. Not perfect, but pattern perfect, predictably ethical. Your goal is Daniel's audit. When they check the books, the calendar, the emails, the deliverables, your patterns testify before your mouth opens. So architect yourself. Decide your philosophy. God is truth. Therefore, I tell the truth fast. Install values. Time is sacred. Therefore, I arrive prepared. Codify morals. Secrecy for clients, never for sin. Write ethics. Document. Don't assume. Practice until character hardens. Same in the dark as in the day. Live the lifestyle. Consistent, visible, reliable. And here is your marketplace maxim to engrave. Systems are the seatbelts of integrity. Buckle them every day, and the collision you never planned will not throw you out of purpose. Now let's see if the walls you built can stand in the storm. Write this down. 3 things will test your character: power, money, and access to sex. You can trace every public collapse, every private implosion to one or combination of these 3. Not sometimes, always. Ecclesiastes says, to everything there is a season. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Testing has a season too. It will visit you. The question is not if, It is when and whether you already decided who you are before it knocks. Treat this right now. Pre-decide your integrity. Your no must be older than the temptation. First, power. At work, it looks ordinary. Admin rights, approval, authority, a purchase card, the ability to hire, to fire, to sign, to silence. Power does not corrupt. Power exposes. The badge that opens the server room will reveal whether you are a servant or a thief with a title. The calendar you control will reveal whether you honor other people's time or exploit it to shield yourself. Luke 12:48 says, to whom much is given, much will be required. Are you using authority to serve or to hide? Do you lock access because of confidentiality or because of insecurity? Do you allocate prime projects to the best performers or to your favorites? Joseph used power to feed a nation. Saul used power to protect his image. Which one are you? Write it down. Authority is for service, not self-preservation. Second, money. This is where many good people turn into negotiators with their conscience. Expense reports, do you round up the taxi or record the receipt? Per diems, are they mission fuel or pocket money? Vendor gifts, are they tokens or tickets to bias? Budgets, do you move numbers to make the month look right, or do you tell the truth and take the hit? Time theft, do you bill for the hour you worked or the hour you wish you worked? Proverbs 11:1 warns, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Abomination is not a soft word. The marketplace version is this: dishonest decimals are moral deception. Are you for sale? At what price? $5 a personal charge on a corporate card is the seed of a $5 million scandal. James 1:15 says, desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. That's the life cycle of a padded receipt. Third, access to sex. I am talking to adults in the real world. DMs, late night, Slack threads, conference lobbies, hotel elevators, after hours, one-on-one debriefs. The flattery of you just get me, compliments that request a reply. Do not play with fire and call it networking. Proverbs 6:27 asks, can a man take fire to his bosom and his clothes not be burned? 1 Thessalonians 4:3-4 is business policy from heaven. This is the will of God, your sanctification, that you should abstain from sexual immorality. That each of you should know how to possess his own vessel in sanctification and honor. Honor means boundaries. Write this down. Never be alone where rumors can be true or believable. Not just true, believable. Abstain from every form of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. That includes optics. So how do we pass the 3? Pre-decision. Not a feeling during the offer, an oath before the offer. Say it out loud and write it in your phone. I cannot be bought. I will not be flattered. I am not available. That first line defeats money. Set a ceiling called 0. No kickbacks, no side deals, no harmless perks that bend your judgment. The second line defeats power abuse by praise. Compliments will not purchase my conscience. Titles will not seduce me into shortcuts. Proverbs 27:21 says, a man is tested by his praise. The third line defeats sexual access. I am not emotionally, digitally, or physically available. Not for harmless lunches, not for travel intimacy, not for private counsel with locked doors. Flee also youthful lusts. 2 Timothy 2:22. Flee means create distance on purpose. Don't negotiate with a burning house. Make it operational. Power boundaries, split approvals, document every exception, invite oversight where you could hide. Money boundaries. Every expense needs a receipt. If you can't explain it to a teenager and your CFO at the same time, don't buy it. Clock in clean, return overpayments, decline gifts that tilt the playing field. Sex boundaries, keep communication in channels, not secret DMs, meet in glass, not behind blinds, travel with a colleague, call home before bed, avoid the lobby bar, your purpose is upstairs, go there. Psalm 101:3 says, I will set nothing wicked before my eyes. That includes the explore page and the hotel TV. Let me coach you as a pastor. The enemy does not fear your talent, he fears your predecisions. Samson negotiated in the moment. Joseph decided before the invitation. Decide now. while you are strong. Write it once more. I cannot be bought. I will not be flattered. I am not available. Embed it in your systems and tattoo it on your soul. And when the tests come, and they will, you won't rise to the occasion. You will default to your preparation. Now let me show you what it looks like when pre-decisions turn into paydays of trust. Write this down. Opportunity chases integrity. Trust is compounding interest on the principle called principle. Tweet that to your team. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck and so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. Proverbs 3:3-4. Favor follows truth, not favors favor. There is a difference. Case 1, the analyst. Tuesday night, 11:43 p.m. Quarter end deck is polished. The headline is glowing and everyone wants to sleep. He reruns the model and finds a forecasting error that hides a miss. He feels the tug, send it tomorrow, let the machine roll. But character is self-imposed discipline. He emails the CFO at midnight. We have a variance. I recommend we correct before the board sees it. The next morning, the headline is honest, not happy. They lose a day of stock price sugar. But watch the compounding. The board doesn't remember the beat they didn't get. They remember the truth they did get. The CFO moves his chair closer in every planning meeting. When acquisitions are considered, guess who is in the room? The man who wouldn't sell the numbers. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Proverbs 12:22. Delight is a doorway. He became effectively unfireable, not because he pleased the quarter, but because he pleased the principal. Case 2, the custodian. Early shift. He finds a thick envelope under a conference table cash. No cameras, no audience, only God and a broom. He walks into security with a receipt and a witness. The owner weeps. It was petty cash for a vendor who insisted on currency. Leadership takes note. 6 weeks later, they reorganize facilities. Keys and codes need an auditor, someone who can be trusted with doors and data. Who do they choose? The man who returned paper no one could trace. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Least to much is the interest curve of trust. He now manages access, not because of politics, but because of purity. Try to fire him. You will discover he is a hinge the whole building swings on. Case 3, the product manager launches tomorrow. Marketing is prime. Ads are bought. She finds a late stage safety concern, probability low, consequence catastrophic. Her boss groans, can we patch it in V11? Her integrity answers before her ego does. We stop, they delay the quarter. Bonuses bruise, Twitter mocks. But 3 months later, a competitor ships a similar feature and recalls it in shame. Her company stands clean, brand intact. The board remembers her pain-filled decision and hands her the next flagship. Better is a little with righteousness than vast revenues without justice. Proverbs 16:8. She swore to her own hurt and did not change. Psalm 15. Today, she leads launches that define categories. Unfireable, no, simply irreplaceable integrity. Case 4, the AP clerk. Entry level, quiet desk, big courage. A reimbursement comes through from the CEO. Small irregularity, maybe innocent, maybe not. She can wave it on and stay invisible, or she can honor the policy she signed. She writes respectfully. Per policy, section 3.4, this item requires different coding and approval. Risk offending the top. Reward alignment with truth. The CEO replies, thank you, corrected. 2 hours later, the CFO visits her desk. Anytime you see something, ask me directly. Direct access is not a perk. It is the yield of courage for principle. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Proverbs 27:6. She risked a bruise and gained a bridge. What is the moral of these lies? Write it and engrave it. When you protect the principle today, the principle will promote you tomorrow. Small, faithful acts become large assignments. That is not motivational speech. That is a law. Do you see a man diligent in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. Proverbs 22:29. Diligence is not speed, it is integrity at speed. These people did not network their way to unfireable, they narrowed their way down to oneness. Opportunity saw the oneness and chased it. So here's your daily investment plan until we build your 30-day audit. Make truth deposits fast, make time deposits early, make ethics deposits publicly, record receipts, correct mistakes before they are discovered, say the hard no before the easy yes, and do it again tomorrow. Trust will start as a penny. Leave it long enough under the law of integrity, and you will wake up compounding into rooms you never applied for. Now we bolt the doors from the inside. You don't stay trustworthy by willpower. You stay trustworthy by wiring your world so integrity is easy and inconsistency is impossible. Write it down. Systems are the seatbelts of character. He who walks uprightly walks securely. Proverbs 10:9. Secure walking needs secure rails. Tweet that. Sunlight is your ally. All things that are exposed are made manifest by the light. Ephesians 5:13. So create transparency defaults. Over communicate status. Don't make your manager hunt you. Volunteer clarity before they ask. Copy stakeholders on key decisions. Let your email be a window, not a curtain. Keep a running decision, log date decision, rationale, scripture or policy, anchor, owner. If it's not written, it's rumor. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Make it plain in the minutes, in the task tracker, in the board deck. Lead with your life in the light. There is no such thing as a private life. Practice public documentation like a liturgy, after meetings, post notes in a shared document, no private drives, no secret screenshots. Summarize agreements, name owners, set dates, attach files, send it to the room while the memory is hot, because memory is a myth and myths cause mistrust. Providing for honest things, not only in the sight of the Lord, but also in the sight of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. Honest things have timestamps. Honest things have links. Honest things have witnesses. Adopt the shadow of doubt rule. Write it down and teach your team. If it looks wrong, don't do it. If you must do it, don't do it alone. If you did it, document it. That's 3 locks on one door. Optics matter because people matter. Abstain from every form of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Form includes appearance. So the action is necessary but risky in perception. Add people, add glass, add paper. Wisdom travels with witnesses. Invite accountability like a friend, not a parole officer. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17. Schedule a monthly spot check with a trusted colleague. Your reports, your expenses, your calendar integrity. Did you show where you said? Did you send what you promised? Let them ask you the 2 a.m. question in daylight. Hebrews 13:18. We are confident that we have a good conscience in all things, desiring to live honorably. Desire honor together, not alone. You can never disagree with the principle, unwatched souls wander, watch souls win. Now let's install boundary tech. Configure your devices so secrecy has nowhere to sit. No secret tabs. Disable private browsing for work profiles. Route decisions out of DMs and into channels. Turn off disappearing messages. Archive is your ally. Use shared calendars with meaningful subjects, not catch up, but Q2 risk review with approvals. Put screens where they face the room, not the wall. Keep your camera on when trust requires presence. Separate personal and professional accounts. Never commingle client files with private clouds. Psalm 101:3 says, I will set nothing wicked before my eyes. Extend that to your inputs. Mute accounts that seduce standards. Block sites that bait you into waste. Install content filters that defend your focus. Freedom is the fruit of chosen restraints. Create friction against falsehood and momentum for truth. In email, add a true stop. Read once for accuracy, once for charity, once for confidentiality. In finance, require receipts before reimbursement. No receipt, no refund. In approvals, split authority on high-risk items so one person cannot both propose and pass. In travel, book rooms on the same floor as your team. Meet in the lobby, not in rooms. In recruiting, panel interviews beat private charisma. Write it down. Distribute trust by design. Calendar Calibrate your cadence. Weekly status broadcast to stakeholders. Bi-weekly backlog grooming with owners. Monthly integrity audit with your peer. Quarterly policy refresher for your team. Keep a visible checklist for deliverables. Scope confirmed. Risk documented. Decisions logged. Stakeholders copied. Files stored in shared space. Daniel's enemies could find no charge or fault because he was faithful, nor was there any error or fault found in him. Daniel 6:4. Faithful patterns produce faultless audits. Finally, declare your tech vows aloud. I do not hide. I do not delete to deceive. I do not decide in the dark. Honesty is my only policy. Lead with your life and then let your systems echo your soul. John 3:21 says, he who does the truth comes to the light that his deeds may be clearly seen. Come to the light on purpose. Build the light into your calendar, your inbox, your tools, your walls. And when the day of testing comes, your environment will testify with you. This one is one. We've built the rails now. Let's move the train. Write this down. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your employer can terminate a job. They cannot terminate your work. Romans 12:6 says, having gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, let us use them. Use them. God gave you something for somebody. Deployment is when your gift is assigned to a need. Employment is when your time is assigned to a task. Don't only clock in, call out your calling inside the company. Tweet that to somebody who's been bored. Stop waiting to be used. Start being useful. Proverbs 18:16 anchors this law. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Not your resume, your gift. Not your charm, your competence. Skill attracts the room. Character keeps you at the table. Write it down. Become indispensable by gift. Become unfireable by character. Charisma can open the door. Only character can hold the hinges. You can never disagree with that principle. You can ignore it and the exit sign will disagree with you later. Let me plant an orchard in your mind. God's first command to humans was, be fruitful. Genesis 1:28. Fruitful, full of fruit. Trees don't bring fruit to you. You go to the tree. Your gift is a tree. Stop chasing people. Let problems come to your orchard. Brand yourself as a solution so clear that when a specific pain appears, your name is the reflex. 1 Peter 4:10 says, as each one has received a gift, minister it to one another. Minister means serve. Service creates gravity. Gravity pulls opportunities into your orbit. Career tactic, write it down. Consistently solve the same class of problems until you become the brand for that solution. Don't be a generalist fog. Be a specialist lighthouse. Pick a pain and become its pastor. Are you the no surprises project closer, the numbers with integrity modeler, the zero drama launch lead, the customer conflict peacemaker? Solve it again and again. Document the playbook. Teach it to others and publish the results where light can see no boasting, just receipts. Daniel 6:3 says, Daniel distinguished himself because an excellent spirit was in him. Excellence is repeatable relief. Do it until they can't imagine the calendar without your cadence. Here is how trees grow in the marketplace. Choose your class. For example, risk clarity. Every week you run a 20-minute risk stand-up. Produce a 1-page heat map and email stakeholders a plain language summary. Habakkuk 2 inches the office. Write the vision and make it plain. After 3 months, every executive knows when the room is confused, call you or choose decision hygiene. You install a decision log with date, owner, rationale, and outcome. After 2 quarters, the company can track why and when, and politics loses its voice. Or choose customer restitution integrity. You design a fair, fast refund policy with just weights and honest scales. Proverbs 11:1. Complaints drop, trust rises, your brand is stamped on peace. Listen carefully. Your company may rent your skills, but it will buy your character. Tweet that. Renting is hourly, buying is covenant. They can source skill on a platform. They secure character with access, authority, and rooms where phones are checked at the door. That's when you become effectively unfireable, not because they cannot remove your task, but because removing your trust would tear the fabric of the house. Let me mentor you with 2 snapshots. An engineer decided her work was predictable releases. She built a cadence, a checklist, a rollback ritual, a true stop before deploy. 6 launches later, leadership stopped asking, can we? And started saying, when she says go, we go. Her gift made room. Her character made it a permanent room. A customer success lead chose escalation peacemaking. Always within 24 hours. Acknowledge, investigate, propose, close with documentation and dignity. His email became an orchard. Angry customers came to eat peace. One day HR tried to reorg without him. The phone screamed. Reorg reversed. Why? They could move boxes on the chart. They could not move the trust his character hosted. So here's your deployment plan. Name your work in 1 sentence. Write it down. Next, list the recurring pains it heals. Build a visible system that delivers that healing on schedule. Measure it, teach it, and swear to your own hurt that you will not shift shortcuts, shift blame, or shade truth to look good. Psalm 15. Every day say it out loud. My gift attracts, my character anchors. I will be a tree. I will bear the same fruit in winter and in summer. And when the wind of opportunity blows, I will not be moved, because my roots are principle, my fruit is service, and my name has become shorthand for trust. Now that your gift has a room and your systems have lights, let's talk about how you move tables without moving your standards. Write this down. Lead with proof, not pressure. Your integrity is your leverage. Tweet that. Manipulation is cheap. Evidence is royal. A man's gift makes room for him. Proverbs 18:16. But receipts keep him in the room. Receipts, not rhetoric. You can never disagree with the principle. Value receipts are your negotiation currency. What are receipts? Outcomes captured in numbers, savings with dates, risks reduced with probabilities, time returned with dollars attached, trust increased with verifiable signals. Prepare a 1-page ledger. Revenue generated, costs avoided, cycle time shortened, defects prevented, customer escalations resolved, incidents not repeated because of your system. Add a short line for each: problem, action, result, proof. Then walk into the meeting like Daniel before kings with clarity and calm. Say, over the last 12 months, our refund redesign reduced churn by 2.1%. That's $1, 3M annualized. I request alignment of compensation with the value produced and authorization to expand this process to 2 more regions. That is not pressure, that is stewardship speaking. Luke 16:10, he who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Faithfulness documented becomes influence. Set your boundaries before you set your rate. Boundaries are not attitudes, they are agreements with your future. State them calmly and early, not angrily and late. Examples you can borrow. I do not do off-policy verbal commitments. All approvals live in the system. I do not accept travel more than X nights per month if the mission requires more. We staff a rotation. My meetings are glass and group when the topic is sensitive. My yes means yes and my no means no. Matthew 5:37. Write it down. Clarity is kindness. Boundaries are bridges. When you disclose your non-negotiables, you attract wise leaders and repel users. That is a blessing. Now, the difference between a bribe and a bonus, learn it, live it. A bribe buys silence or bias. A bonus rewards value delivered. The first is secret, the second is documented. The first is personal, the second is policy. Exodus 23:8 warns, you shall not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the clear-sighted. Blind leaders crash companies. So say thank you for the offer. Our policy declines personal gifts. If you'd like to express appreciation, please apply it as a discount to the invoice, or make a charitable donation in our department's name and we will disclose it. Accept bonuses that are public, tax receipted, and tied to outcomes you can defend in daylight. Providing for honest things in the sight of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. Honesty is my only policy. Influence without selling your soul means asking for more responsibility before more title. Image before dominion. Dominion follows demonstrated stewardship. Like, give me the mess, give me the metrics, give me 90 days. If the defect rate doesn't fall by 30%, revoke the mandate. That's Joseph in Pharaoh's house. Matthew 25-21, you have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Responsibility is the audition. Titles are the credits that roll after the work is proven. Here's your test question and answer like a mirror. Are you for sale? If yes, name your price and watch your soul shrink to that number. If no, print your principles, write them, sign them, share them with your team. Post them on your wall and in your heart. I tell the truth quickly. I do not hide decisions. I document value. I decline secret favors. I honor Sabbath and family commitments. I keep confidences without covering lies. I do not negotiate my integrity for opportunity. Opportunity negotiates with my integrity. Those who honor me, I will honor. 1 Samuel 2:30. Say it out loud. I cannot be bought. I will not be flattered. I am not available. Walk into every negotiation with 3 things: receipts, boundaries, and a blessing. Receipts to prove value, boundaries to protect value, a blessing to keep your spirit clean. Greet, thank, present evidence, state ask, state guardrails, invite accountability, and close in writing. Lead with your life. There is no such thing as a private life. And when the dust settles, they will discover what kings discovered with Daniel. It is safer to promote the person whose price is printed as principles than the one whose price is hidden in a pocket. Now we rehearse the fire. Listen to me. You don't rise to the occasion. You default to your preparation. Write it down. Tweet that. When pressure squeezes you, only convictions you have rehearsed will come out. Daniel 1-8 says, Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. He didn't decide at the table, he decided before the table. Jesus in the wilderness did not improvise. He answered from preloaded scripture. It is written. Crisis respect pre-decisions. You can never disagree with that principle. Here is your 2 a.m. test. Who are you when no one is watching and the deadline is tomorrow? Are you a truth teller or a timeline worshiper? Do you massage the metric, pad the hour, DM the temptation, and promise to fix it in the morning? Character is self-imposed discipline, especially under a ticking clock. Proverbs 24:10 warns, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Strength is small when preparation is small. So we enlarge your preparation. Establish 10 vows and bind your soul to them. Write them. Sign them, say them aloud every Monday at 8 a.m. and every night before a major deadline. I do not lie. I do not steal. I do not cheat. I do not gossip. I do not hide. I do not retaliate. I do not pad hours. I do not cross marital lines. I do not break confidences. I do not blame shift. Psalm 15 describes the unfireable. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. These vows are your hurt-proof hinges. They keep your door on the frame when the wind howls. Now, red team your ethics. Soldiers drill ambushes so surprise has no power. Do the same. Expense padding scenario. A client meal with a gray receipt. Your script is ready. I have pre-decided. No receipt, no reimbursement. Please put that in writing. Data fudging scenario. The model misses target by 2 points. Your script, I have pre-decided. We report variance as variance. Here are the corrective actions. DM flirting scenario, late night compliment from a coworker. Your script, I am not available. For professional topics, please move this to the group channel. Vendor gift scenario, tickets in an unmarked envelope. Your script, thank you. Per policy, I decline personal gifts. If you wish, contribute publicly to our charity partner. Practice these out loud. Role play with a trusted peer. Train your tongue before the test trains it for you. Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself. Foresight is rehearsal. Install escape plans for when you slip, not if when, because humility is part of integrity. If compromise, report yourself first. Confession is cheaper than discovery. Write it, cheaper in money, cheaper in time, cheaper in soul. Proverbs 28:13 declares, he who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Practical steps. Document the breach. Quantify impact. Propose restitution. Inform your manager and compliance in writing. And schedule a follow-up to verify the fix. Do it quickly. James 5:16, confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. Healing follows honesty, moving at speed. Adopt lock-in language that closes the exits. 3 lines you will memorize. I have pre-decided I am not available. Please put that in writing. These phrases are seat belts. They restrain your impulses and signal your standards. Add these 2 per policy. This must be approved in the system. For transparency, let's include the full team. For my protection and yours, I'll send a summary email. Every time you say it, you pour concrete around your character. Create a weekly crisis drill, 10 minutes, Friday afternoon. Review next week's calendar and red team each exposure. Travel late nights, high stakes presentations, budget reviews, off-site team events, vendor dinners. For each, write your pre-decision, what you will not do, what you will require to proceed, who you will copy, where you will meet, how you will exit. Pair this with a monthly temptation audit with a trusted partner. Expenses, DMs, delays, and defensiveness. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27-17. Invite questions you fear. Answer them before the devil does. Finally, anchor your soul with scripture you can quote at 2 a.m. Matthew 5:37, let your yes be yes and your no, no. Romans 13:14, make no provision for the flesh. Psalm 119-106, I have sworn and confirmed that I will keep your righteous judgments. Speak them, live them. Lead with your life. There is no such thing as a private life. And when the crisis arrives, you won't search for courage. You will default to your drill. Because the house built on a rock could not be shaken. Luke 6:48. Tweet that. I do not rise. I return to what I already decided. Now we live it in the light. Write this down. Consistency, not charisma, builds an unfireable life. Tweet that. You don't need a spotlight. You need a schedule. James 1:22 says, be doers of the word and not hearers only. So for the next 30 days, we don't discuss integrity. We document it. We don't try to remember, we track. 30 days turns a conviction into a cadence. Cadence becomes culture. Culture makes you effectively unfireable. Here is your 3 0-day integrity sprint. Pick 3 disciplines and measure them daily. 1, truth, speed. That's your time to truth. The minutes between knowing and notifying. When you discover a variance, an error, a mispromise, stop the clock and report. Faster truth, stronger trust. 2, time precision. Start when you said, end when you planned, deliver when you promised. If you're early, you're honorable. If you're late, you're leaking trust. 3, transparent documentation. Every meaningful decision gets a written record date, owner, rationale, policy, or scripture anchor, and where the evidence lives. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Might is measured. Create a simple grid, 30 boxes for each discipline. Check it before you check out. If you miss, write why, correct it, and move on. No shame, just receipts. Honesty is my only policy. Every week, conduct an integrity audit. 1 meeting, 15 minutes. Review 1 high-impact decision against principles, not outcomes. Did you protect the principle even when pain was present? Invite a peer you trust to interrogate your gray areas. Give them permission to ask 2 a.m. questions at 2 p.m. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, Proverbs 27:6. Their questions are stitches that prevent a hemorrhage later. Keep minutes of the audit, yes, minutes, and find them where light can find them. Walk as children of light, Ephesians 5-8. Light loves logs. Now raise your public standard. Publish your turnaround times and keep them. Let your calendar preach your character. State it calmly on your profile, in your signature, and to your team. I acknowledge within 1 business day. I close loops within 5. I begin meetings on the dot and end with decisions recorded. Say, if I miss my standard, you will get a same-day explanation and a new realistic promise. That is Matthew 5:37 with a stopwatch. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Your published rhythm is a lighthouse. When storms come, people stare by it. Prune and protect. Write it down. You cannot keep what you refuse to cut for. Remove relationships that require secrecy, DMs with heat, friendships built on gossip, lunches that always need a story to cover them. Delete apps that hide you, disappearing messages, private browsers on work devices, photo vaults. Cut habits that breed darkness, late night scrolls, ambiguous calendar titles, cash expenses without receipts. Then plan what protects you. Add shared calendars with meaningful subjects, move sensitive conversations to group channels, give your spouse or a trusted peer visibility into your schedules and spending. Install accountability tools that email activity summaries to your partner. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart, Psalm 101-2. Begin at home, continue at work, let oneness follow you. Every morning, declare your vows. I do not lie. I do not hide. I do not negotiate my integrity. I report variance quickly. I show up on time. I write things down. I lead with my life. Say it until your soul salutes. Paul said, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. 1 Corinthians 9:27. Discipline is self-imposed prison that makes you free. Free from fear, from scandal, from double life exhaustion. The righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. Boldness is the byproduct of a clean record in plain view. At day 30, sit with your ledger, calculate your truth, speed average, your on-time rate, your documentation percentage. Share the summary with your manager and your peer. Ask, where did I wobble? Where did I win? What will I lock for the next 90 days? This is not performative morality. This is principled stewardship. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Least turns into much when you count it and confess it. And now the benediction that becomes your brand. Lead with your life. Write it down. Tweet it now. Lead with your life. There is no such thing as a private life. Live loudly. Emails visible. Calendar honest. Receipts ready. Standards printed. Friends authorized to wound you well. Begin tonight. Announce your 3-0-day sprint. Publish your 3 disciplines and set your first audit. Tomorrow morning, check the first box before sunrise. Do it again for 30 days. Let trust compound like interest on the principle called principle. And when they ask, why are you unfireable? Smile and point to the schedule. Consistency, not charisma. Image before dominion. Honesty is my only policy. This one is one.